channel. My name is Anne. I go by Yarny Annie on YouTube and Instagram, and I mainly talk about knitting and fibre related things. On today's video, I had a brilliant idea. Well, I didn't have that idea. My partner had this idea, and oh no, yeah. So my partner had an idea about asking a Chat GPT about producing a knitting pattern, which I thought was brilliant. So if you don't know what a Chat GPT is, it's basically an artificial intelligence to which you can ask a bunch of stuff. So from, science facts, or sometimes, make my homework for me or stuff like that, to recipes, and I reckon knitting pattern. So we're gonna give it a go, see where that leads us, see if, the end of knitting designing has arrived, and see if the computer is more clever than the human, ultimately, and answer those kind of questions. Of course not. No, we're just gonna ask a Chat GPT to produce us a knitting pattern and see if it's any good. So I'm gonna ask that little computer a bunch of questions, and then we're gonna see what happens. Let's go. So I'm on the Chat GPT website. You're soon gonna learn that I'm not really proficient in anything like that. So we're gonna see what that gets us. So I'm on the website. Actually, I should start recording. There you go. So I'm on the website, as you can see, because I'm super techie, and I've managed to pull you wherever I'm typing just right there, and it's magic. So I'm on the website. Let's ask the chat to make us a knitting pattern. So hi. Okay. Hi, can you write me a knitting pattern? Ooh, okay. What kind of project we had in mind? I think I want to go for something easy, something that's not too long, something I'm accustomed to. So I think I'm gonna go for a sock. So a sock. Ooh, there you go. There's a basic knitting pattern for a sock. Sock yarn, yep. 64 stitches. Lovely, it's writing. It's doing its thing. Lovely. Cool. So it looks like it's done. Just a very basic sock pattern. Probably a vanilla sock with knit 2 purl 2 leg. Okay. All right. So so it's a very basic vanilla sock, with 64 stitches, which is usually a medium size. I would go down because I have smaller feet, but that would work. It looks like it would be normal. I've not really looked too far. I don't think I want to do a vanilla sock. I think that's too easy. I think I could have gone to Ravelry and just downloaded any pattern. It's not fun. Let's see if... Okay, let's go for... So, it's summer, and I've been liking knitting lacy socks. So let's go for some flowery lace, please. Let's go. Okay, here's an update of the version of the sock pattern. Cool. Right, so it looks like it's with, knit 2, slip, slip, knit together, yarn over. So it's a very easy yarn over. Okay, could be nice. Shall we add some cables? Why not? If not, I'll just if it looks too, ooh, yeah, it doesn't seem to be any issue for the little chat, the little bot. Cable 4 front, pearl 2. But is it flowery? Doesn't look like it would be any more. Okay, can you add cables and lace, please? Oh wow, okay, that's really fast. That's actually really impressive. Okay, so you still start with knit 2, purl 2 ribbing. And switch to a cable and lace pattern for the leg section. And you got cable and lace. That's lovely. Wow. Cool. That's great. Shall we? Shall we just do it? But that sounds amazing. Don't know if you can just do it on a more concise. That's so cool. That's very impressive. Right, I'm gonna try to get it on a more concise page because right now it's kind of lengthy. So maybe if I just ask for like, hi, can I get a lacy, flowery, finger weight sock knitting pattern, then it will be on one doc instead of, I don't know how many pages. Let's do this. And then let's print it and then let's cast on. So now we have a pattern. I need to figure out what kind of yarn I want to use. So I'm thinking, because I can't really tell what it's going to look like, I kind of want something like basic-ish with not too much going on. So I got a few options. I really wanted to use this one, which is the opal sock yarn. I think it could be really nice. I think especially with the flowery theme, you got some, you know, reds and yellows, which I think could be really good. There is a bit of, you know, different colors and variation, so I'm not sure this is the best yarn. But I also have these options. This is just I lost the label, but it's the Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in just pink, which could be nice, or an end potentially, because I think these two could go really nicely together. This is the sock yarn. Does it have a name? Jadeite. But I do need to wind this, and I don't have what's the name of it? The tool that allows you to wind it properly. So I would have to do it by hand, which is fine, but I also want to cast on really fast. So probably not that one. I think I'm gonna go that one. Don't really know what it's gonna look like, but I think it's worth a try. So let's have a look. What's the name of this one? So it's the Africa 11161. We'll try this one. We'll cast on, and if you know, if I see that the lace pattern doesn't work for that yarn, then I'll just use the other ones. There you go, no stress. Right, so I was just knitting away. Well, I was just at this point, so I was starting the lace pattern when I've noticed there's no cable on there, and in the abbreviations there was a mention of cable, but I just can't find it anywhere in the pattern. So I'm gonna go back have a look at the first one the bot sent me, and see if I can pick one of those instead of the one I have right now. Because I do want it cable. I think it's more of a challenge. But there you go. So I guess that's the first warning. Is like you may ask for something and they might mention it somewhere, but it might not actually be present in the actual pattern. So yeah, so we've told the chat that the cables were missing, and he sent us the revised version. I'm gonna check where I was on the first one, but it seems to like match, so I don't have to like start from scratch, which is pretty good. So we're gonna hopefully have also some cables. It does seem like it's very light. I just didn't really read through entirely, so it took me a while to notice. Sorry, I keep looking at myself. It took me a while to notice that the cables were missing, but now we should be back on track. Hi again. So last time you saw me, I've just noticed that the cables were missing, and I've asked the chat to include them again, which the chat apologized and then resent me the pattern with the cables. So I then sat down, knitted for a little bit longer before I've noticed that the lace pattern didn't fill the 64 stitches, meaning that after so many repeats of the lace, mostly eyelet pattern, I had like 4 stitches that just I didn't know what to do with because it just wasn't included in the 64 stitches. So I've counted every single row how many stitches the repeat included, if you see what I mean, and it just wouldn't match. So one time it was 9 stitches, the other time it was 11, I don't actually remember. So it just wouldn't match. So I went back, asked the chat to make sure that the lace pattern was in multiple of I don't remember, but I think it was 8 or 16 or 4. Don't remember. I've asked so many different ways and revised the way I was asking the question a few times just to see if the chat was able to produce a pattern that would actually make sense and would actually work. Spoiler alert, it just didn't. I did not manage to get the chat to produce a lacy sock pattern with that made sense. So I think she's very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. I'm guessing the chat is very disappointed as well. It kept apologizing and producing the same answer. It was just very frustrating. So yeah, I was knitting for a while, just trying to make this work, trying to rephrase my question so many times, but the chat wouldn't understand, which was so frustrating. Was I using the wrong term? Yeah, maybe that's just that. But I've asked my boyfriend to help me out, and then it just, regardless of the way we were phrasing the questions, which we've done like a dozen times, we've rephrased the question a dozen times, and it just wouldn't work. So I guess we've answered the question of, can a Chat GPT make a lacy sock pattern that makes sense? No. I think when I first started, and when we inputted the questions, one of them did not include a lace pattern. Maybe that one makes sense. I've not read it thoroughly enough. I guess we've answered the question, the human prevails, and sock designing, intricate sock designing, cannot be replicated by a free artificial intelligence widely available online. That's the answer that's the question we've answered today. Oh my god. That felt I was still wanting a sock, especially I started working on the ribbing a little bit, and I really enjoyed the yarn, so I really wanted to eventually use it up. So because everything was there, I was like, oh, do you know what, I'm gonna trust the human brain, and I'm gonna have a look at free knitting lacy knitting, well, free sock pattern including lace. Free lace sock knitting patterns. There you go. So I looked on Ravelry, found about 1,000,000,000,000 of them, found about 10 that I like, that I saved on a little folder for us to discuss right now. So because computer failed to provide a beautiful sock pattern, I am providing you with beautiful lacy sock patterns. I'm gonna stop saying every single patterns I'm gonna talk about has some kind of an eyelid or lace pattern in it. There you go. I won't say lace anymore. I cannot stand the sight of this world. Anyway, so I'm gonna chat about a few of them and then I'm gonna show you the sock that I'm currently working on. So I got, how many do I have? 11 free knitting patterns. So I'm gonna try to go through them really quickly. So the first one, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you know I really love this handmade life knitting patterns. She does so many great knitting patterns. A lot of them, well, a few of them are free, which I'm gonna include 2 of them because I really like her and I think she's very good. And the way she writes the pattern, I just understand right away. So the first one I'm including is Winter's Frost by This Handmade Life. So it's a free knitting pattern available on Ravelry using finger rip 4-ply yarn weight. I think all of them are with fingering. If they're not, I'll just specify. So it's a free pattern with just one simple lace detail going down the side of your foot. So it's not a full-on lace across, the leg. It's just on one little area, which makes it really fast and easy to work on. It's really nice, really beautiful. It's free, it's made by a human, you can trust it. There you go. The second one from the same designer is called A Little Hocus Pocus Socks. Once again, free knitting pattern. And this one, she shows it with an accent. And it's the same idea where it's just one lace detail running on the side of your foot. I've already knitted a similar sock. It's from a different pattern. I'll double check if it's free. And it's really nice and it complements the yarn really well. And I found that for hand-dyed yarn that are not too variegated, it works really well because the yarn shines nicely with the stockinette, but you get that little edge that makes the sock knitting experience slightly better. I do love a lace. The next one that I think is so beautiful. I was this close of casting on this one, but I wanted something in the same vibe that the chatbot created, so I've decided to save that one for later. But it's the Ario Socks by Lisa Schmidt. Sorry, that's still French, me just not really knowing how to pronounce very basic English names. So it's a cuff down with a German short raw heel, but you can also do the classic reinforced heel flap and gusset, which is really good. I've been loving short rows heels at the minute. I just find them very satisfying to do. You don't have to, pick up stitches, which I really appreciate. So she does say that this pattern has not been tested, so that's why it's free, but there's 62 project and it's 4.8 rating. So I reckon it's safe enough to say, yeah, it's all good. So this one I really want to make at some point. Then I also have another one that is quite similar from the first 2 that I've mentioned. It's the Let It Shine Socks by Sarah Hood. So it's the same vibe as the 2 first one, where it's just a lace pattern going down the side and it just a very simple lace, and so you get to have that beautiful stockinette as I mentioned before, and it's the same idea. We have similar minds, I'm guessing. So there you go. This is another one. Then I got another one, which is the Thrift Bloom Socks by Lisa Chouette. So it's a cuff down sock pattern with a little bit more of an intricate design and some cables, some very beautiful dainty little cable. What I really liked about this is how it goes down at the end towards the toe. I thought that was really nice, and I couldn't believe that pattern was free because it looks gorgeous. So you got this one. Another one that I really liked, and I thought it was intricate, and still it's a free pattern. It's called By the Seine River by Donna Knits, and it's, let me check, it's available in French and in English. Does it say store? Top cuff down, so it's cuff down towards the toe pattern, and it has that beautiful ripple that kind of looks like the sea, which is really beautiful. And at the back you got those the pearls shining through with some kind of a ribbon. I thought that was quite nice. So there you go, that's another free knitting pattern. Another one that I thought was quite interesting is called Longing for Spring, and it's by Kaua Coffee. And this one is a toe-up sock with little dainty little flowers on them, which I thought they were so cute. So if you're looking for a very summery, springy vibe sock, I thought that was quite nice. There you go. Another flowery one is Cottage Blossom Socks by Marie-Lise Dugal, and it's in English. But yeah, these ones very nice, very dainty, very simple. But you have a picot edge, which I don't know how to do, and so I was very impressed to see that. Let me just move that. I was very impressed to see that on a free pattern you can learn that kind of skill set. So that was really good, and it's a cuff down once again. And then we got the Wazy by Jennifer Beaver, and it's a cuff down as well with lace all over the leg, which I really appreciate sometimes. I think it's really nice. And the last one I want to mention, well, there's two more. There's Diamonds and Daisy by La Maison de Saba, which it's a pattern in English, and it's a toe-up sock with beautiful diamonds with flowers in the middle, and it's really beautiful. So those ones are lovely as well. And the last one I want to mention, and I'm speaking about it last because that's the one I've cast on, it's called the Cherry Pie Socks by Debbie Ford, and it has eyelets. It's a very simple sock pattern, which was kind of reminiscent of what the Chat GPT produced. So that's why I picked it. I was like, ooh, it's quite similar-ish. I mean, it's simple eyelid lace. So I thought, you know what? I was in the mood for that. That kind of got me going, and I'm frustrated that I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna find something similar-ish. So this one is also cuff down pattern, and it's very simple. But it has that really nice long rib, which I like to do my socks quite short because I don't really like when they go so high, so I've not done it that long. But there you go. So this is where I'm at the minute. Let me take off this one. So I'm using the same yarn that I was going to use for the Chat GPT, so it's the Opal Africa one. And this is what we're looking like. So I've decided to change the pattern. So I've done the ribbing a little bit smaller. I've done a short raw heel, and I've the pattern is, well, the eyelid lace detail is only on the front of the sock, and I've done it across the leg because I'm gonna try to wear them for summer, so I don't want something too warm. And at the end, I think what I'm currently doing is I'm spacing out the lace little by little, so that towards the end of the sock there's barely any holes. So there you go. It's not quite finished. If I do finish it before posting this video, I'll just insert a picture there. If not, follow me on Instagram and then I will 100% post the finished object. But there you go. This is what I've decided to cast on, and I'm very pleased with it. It's a very simple pattern. There's nothing, you know, crazy about it, but it's well explained. There's charts. There you go. Something that the Chat GPT couldn't do. I've tried asking him for a chart, but it just didn't really know how to do that. You got plenty of free patterns on your hand. Once again, if you want any of them, they will be in a bundle on my Ravelry. And I think that's all I have to say about this video. It was not as successful as I wanted it to be, but at the end I do have a beautiful sock that is coming out of this, so I think that's alright. I think that's successful, and I found plenty of free beautiful knitting pattern that I could just cast on after this one if I wished. So all of that being said, if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to my knitting channel, and give this a like or comment or whatever. Anything is appreciated. I'm just starting out on this YouTube little journey, so follow along if you enjoy the vibe and content that I've presented to you. I think next week's video is going to be more traditional podcast, though it depends if I have anything else apart from socks to present, because I do want to have some kind of a bundle to actually present. If not, it will be a bit short and a bit boring. So there you go. You can also follow me on Instagram, where you kind of see the behind the scene of me frantically casting on at 10 p.m. or just cats content and all of that jazz. So yeah, feel free to follow me there. I wish you a beautiful day, and if you are brave enough to ask the Chat GPT for pattern and manage to get something decent out of it, please show me. Please show me. Anyway, have a lovely day. I'll see you very soon. Bye.